In our 4-day study trip titled Between Memory and Oblivion, we were learning about historic past of the European Union on the border between two states, between Italy and Slovenia. Our aim was to learn about the past events, but most of all to experience them. And I believe we succeeded. Now we know by our own experience what does it mean to be the other, to be the one who's perceived as a barbarian, who's perceived as not wanted, who is perceived less than human. And at the end of this study trip, I believe that we are much more human than we were 4 days ago. You will get to know that in history we were in these territories that usually are described as border territories and border identities. We were more impacted by the Italian fascism than by Nazism. And this is still heavily impacted our lives. And now in 2022, finally, the time arrived when we are really able to talk about several topics, to visit locations that are connected with our collective memory and historic memory. So I'm really grateful to have you as witnesses to this. So thank you very much to be here with us today and open to receive what we plan to offer you. And really, as Stefan invited you, all questions are welcome.
This place is important because we can say that this is the original one. Why? We have as first to understand who was Guglielmo Oberdan. You will find on the Italian Wikipedia that was an Italian irredentist and patriot. If you go on the Slovenian Wikipedia, you will find that he was an Italian irredentist with Slovenian roots. And it's written Oberdan, not Oberdan. If you go on the English Wikipedia, you will find a mix of the two things. It's a really interesting thing to show to my students. I have to say that they are really, oh, interesting, okay. Who takes care of the monuments? Who is the owner of the land where these monuments are? How to protect them in a long term, because they are not public. A public monument is something that the municipality, the ministry, someone will take care of it automatically. Something that is not public, it's not official, isn't like this. In this case, we have in fact something that is official, because this is one of the most important telegrams, not telegram like the app today, but telegrams in the historical meaning of the word of the Italian history. 100 years ago, all this area, it would like look completely different because this was the Jewish ghetto. A shame if during this tour we weren't also on the main square. Trieste has the highest medal, the golden medal in Italy. So I can say you that just on the basement of the lighthouse a bomb will explode at the beginning of 1930, and something else will happen just after that, and 9 months later 4 young people will be killed in Basovica. Freedom and democracy. Okay. Why it is disputed? Because it's again correlated to the point what happened in the city during May and June of 1945.
Something to learn later.
Buongiorno a tutti, benvenuti, good coming here. In questo posto vedete è tutto nuovo, fino a 2 anni fa era tutto cadente.
Okay, so this place has been renewed recently. Up until 2 years ago, it was in ruins.
E la guerra per salvare alcune parti.
So a couple of years ago, it has been sold by the provincial of Trieste, and an entrepreneur decided to do flats and other things unrelated to the war. So it has been a struggle by the association, the local association, that tried to remember resistance during the war to preserve at least something.
Right. Okay. The window just on the street, just understand how it is big, this place. Yeah. And it was a collective sale for a lot of prisoners that were taken here, just to decide what we do with them. Okay.
Okay, so the cell has been renovated just on the wall painting. The rest is exactly as it was when they found it. The other cell on the other side of the building, they kept up to 30 people. Mm-hmm. So we can guess. What you see at the center of the room, these boxes, these are books, the books I mentioned before. And why are they here? Because when they started renovation, they decided that this place of suffering and torture must become a place of culture and sharing and communication. So they are hoping to make these places into libraries.
Okay, something really important, songs about Basovica, partisan brigades about Basovica, schools after the Second World War about Basovica. I am stressing this fact because also today, okay, the average student will not know probably nothing about that. But also today, Basovica has a really important meaning in Slovenia and in Italy. But if you ask to a Slovenian student from Ljubljana what Basovica means, he will give you a totally different answer to the answer that an Italian student from Milan will give you.
And then he goes on saying that, as you can hear, we can hear shootings, and this has been the shooting range since well before the war, and here more than 100 people died.
Dovrebbe diventare un piccolo museo, con salutini, vedete lì, tra i decenni ero presente. Mi ricordo per esempio un incontro con un generale, Sangrave, che era comandante del Friuli Venezia Giulia. Hanno lasciato sotto una bomba e l'hanno fatto poi esplodere.
Okay, so the 31st of March 1944, some partisans from the Russian division with Tito's association Yugoslavian partisans dressed up as Nazis and went to the Opicina cinema hall and placed bombs under the seats. So very much like they did in Rome, for every Nazi killed, they decided to shoot 10 people. And coincidentally, in the cinema there were also 2 women, which were not soldiers. So they decided that for them it would be 1 person each. So it was 7 Nazis and 2 women, so 10 per Nazi and 1 per woman. To threaten the population, they were trying to find those who placed the bomb. So they threatened to kill everybody if the guilty partisans did not come out.
To contribute to the change of the European policy of remembrance. As I don't know how much you are aware and how much you became aware during this day and a half that there is a huge part of our past that's missing, and that could contribute also to the values, to the common values of European Union. And here we are now. They began in 2011. They have regular, almost weekly, twice a month encounters. And today they will offer us a part of their program or repertoire. this monument, it's marking the first uprising against fascism on May 15 in 1921. We created this idea of joining two choirs, one from Trieste and one from Slovenia, happened in a conversation with Neža, who offered a lecture and who's now also stepping in a different role. But the idea was really a demand of creating a moment of cultural connection between cultures or spaces that usually are used by the politics to create division. And we didn't find a better way than music, along with remembering what happened in the past here and what we should include in what we are or who we are today. So the program consists of both choirs performing a short program and then uniting their voices to sing a song called in Slovenia Ustajenje Primorske.
Desde la mañana, dime dónde vas, morena, desde la mañana, cobrani llegaron soy, de klesa y ni večta, kogo pregnan sveta tiran, obrne svoja se tvoj partizan, junak se v svetu zna. La mattina mi son svegliato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. La mattina mi son svegliato e ho trovato l'invasor. Oh partigiano, portami via, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire. E questo è il fiore del partigiano, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E questo è il fiore del partigiano, morto per la libertà. Strojnice svojo so pesem zapele, zrak je pretreslo grmenje topov. Žirne poljane so v ognju splamtele, klis je svobode vstal sredi gozdov. Žirne poljane so v ognju splamtele, klis je svobode vstal sredi gozdov. Zmaga v trpljenju, našla si končno svoj pravi obraz. Stala Primorska si v novo življenje.
Ciao!
the fourth day, the last day of our project titled Between Memory and Oblivion.
I mean, everything can be heritage around us, but there is one key difference that differs everything and heritage. And it's the moment when we choose something to be heritage, when we identify it as such, when we attribute values. So in that sense, we don't talk anymore about heritage as such, but we talk about the process of heritageization. We translate that in Slovenian, dediščinjenje.
It's not an icon of any ideology. It's an organic space, and when you come to visit, you enter it as a unique human being. The opportunity that you have is that you enter it and you have your own experience. And that's what's making us human. And see you in the future. So thank you very much, and thanks to our speakers. Thanks for being here.